The spaceship Galactic Voyager was an impressive sight, sailing through the stars like a gleaming spear. It was one of humanity's proudest achievements, a vessel designed to explore the deepest reaches of space. But beyond its advanced engines, high-tech weaponry, and scientific labs, it boasted something unique: a state-of-the-art kitchen complete with a Michelin star chef, Hiroshi Tanaka. Hiroshi, a chef known across Earth for his culinary artistry, had been hired for a special purpose. The crew wasn't just human, they were a mix of species from different planets, each with unique tastes and dietary needs. Some liked their food frozen solid, others liked it charred to ashes, and a few preferred textures humans could hardly imagine. But one challenge stood above them all: preparing a feast for the renowned and mysterious diplomat from planet Azura, a towering blue-furred creature known as Thrax. Thrax was a legend across galaxies. Strong, wise, and with a reputation for diplomacy, he was instrumental in uniting many species under the Interstellar Alliance. But he had one peculiar passion that few knew about: an intense love for the culinary arts. When he requested that Hiroshi teach him Earth-style cooking, the chef was both flattered and nervous. Teaching a towering, muscled alien who looked like a mythological yeti to handle delicate ingredients was no small feat. Today Hiroshi and Thrax stood in the spaceship's gleaming kitchen. The walls, made of polished steel, reflected the blue glow of distant stars visible through wide observation windows. Steam hissed from pots, knives glinted under the kitchen lights, and the hum of the spaceship's engines provided a constant, soothing background noise. Thrax watched intently as Hiroshi picked up a plump red tomato from a bowl. "The key to making a perfect stir-fry," Hiroshi said as if he were giving a sacred lesson, "is precision and timing." His hand moved gracefully, slicing the tomato into even segments. Each slice was like a miniature work of art. Thrax leaned closer, his fur rippling as he observed. In his massive clawed hand, he held a notepad and a pen, carefully jotting down every step. The sight of a giant, alien diplomat taking notes on how to slice tomatoes was a surreal one, even for Hiroshi, who had seen a lot in his interstellar journeys. After the vegetables were cut, Hiroshi fired up a stovetop burner, letting the pan heat. He sprinkled some oil and it sizzled with a comforting crackle. "Temperature control is vital," he said, turning to Thrax, who nodded eagerly, jotting down temperature control equals important in big letters. His penmanship was surprisingly neat for someone with claws. As Hiroshi added the vegetables to the pan, the vibrant colors and rich aromas filled the air. Thrax's large wolf-like nose twitched, and his eyes widened in anticipation. "The spices come next," Hiroshi said, adding a dash of garlic and ginger. The scents seemed to awaken something primal in Thrax, who let out a pleased rumble that shook the kitchen. But then, Thrax wanted to try for himself. Hiroshi handed him a knife that looked more like a toy in Thrax's huge hand. The alien's muscles tensed as he attempted to slice a bell pepper. His first attempt was clumsy, the blade crushed rather than sliced. Hiroshi gently corrected his grip, showing him how to let the knife do the work. "Gentle yet firm," he advised. Thrax, surprisingly graceful for his size, adapted quickly, carefully applying just enough pressure. His concentration was intense. Eventually, he managed to slice the pepper into respectable pieces. "Excellent," Hiroshi encouraged, clapping his hands. After an hour of careful instruction, the two of them had prepared an impressive dish, a colorful stir-fry that steamed invitingly on a plate. Hiroshi set it down on the counter, and Thrax looked at his work with pride. When the time came to taste, Hiroshi gestured for Thrax to go first. The alien scooped a generous portion and took a bite. For a moment there was silence. Hiroshi held his breath, waiting for the verdict from his otherworldly student. Then Thrax's face broke into an expression of utter bliss. His eyes sparkled and he let out a low hum of delight. "Chef Hiroshi," he said in his deep, rumbling voice, this is a marvel. The harmony of flavors dances on my tongue." Relieved and delighted, Hiroshi chuckled. "You've done well, Thrax. Cooking is about more than following a recipe. It's about creating something that speaks to the soul." Thrax nodded thoughtfully. "In my culture, food is often seen as sustenance alone. But you've shown me that it can be an art form, a way to share one's spirit with others." Just as they were basking in their success, the ship's intercom crackled to life. "Attention all crew, we're approaching planet Kelvin. Prepare for contact with the local government," the captain's voice announced. Thrax straightened up, nodding to Hiroshi. "Duty calls. But chef, I'll be back. There is much more I wish to learn from you." As Thrax lumbered out, his giant frame barely fitting through the door, Hiroshi smiled, already envisioning their next culinary adventure. Perhaps they would tackle something more complex, like Earth's famous soufflés. Whatever came next, Hiroshi knew one thing for certain. He had just made an intergalactic friend, bound not by treaties or alliances, but by the universal language of good food. And as the Galactic Voyager continued its journey through the stars, Hiroshi felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing he had found his place, teaching the art of cooking to a student from the other side of the galaxy.